My father was a chef. He was a chef at Claridge's while I was growing up. So essentially my only way of spending time with my father was to spend time in the kitchen with him. So I'd go in, spend a little bit of time with him and a little bit of time in the kitchen as well, messing around in the pastry, playing around with ingredients. And that was really my first sort of insight from probably the age of 4 or 5 years old, really, playing around with ingredients and the whole atmosphere of the kitchen and the camaraderie just kind of was infectious, really. And it felt like something that I really had a passion from an early age. And you know, once I got to the end of schooling, my mother and father sort of said to me, look, what do you want to do? What's your, you know? And I said, look, I still want to be a chef. You know, that's what I want to do. So my father said, look, you know, I think the Connaught at the time was pretty much the best schooling I was going to get in London. That's where I had to be, so I pretty much packed my bags within a week of finishing school and said, right, you want to be a chef? Let's do it properly. So off I went to the Connaught, straight into an apprenticeship, 5-year apprenticeship. So it's 5 years at the Connaught. 3 years of that was studying down in Bournemouth through the Academy of Culinary Arts. They had it's called a specialised chef apprenticeship scheme. So I did like a block release system, 3 months down there studying, and then 9 months up in the kitchen at the Connaught. And that was really, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better grounding, because although it was tough from the point of view that a lot of my friends were in smaller kitchens where they were kind of moving around very often and seeing lots of interesting things, you know, I had such a solid grounding. You know, I thought, right, if I can really sustain this and do 5 years at the Connaught, then I know that I've made the right decision, and those ambitions from a young age were, you know, they were real ambitions. They weren't just sort of a dream and a sort of pipeline things. Really, as a chef, you know, you sort of think it's all about the food, but you soon realise that running a good kitchen successfully, there's a lot more to it than food. That's one incredibly important part of it, and that's the part that ultimately the customer is going to care most about. But to run a successful kitchen, you know, to keep your staff happy, to keep them motivated constantly, to not have too much staff turnover, you know, especially these days, people are moving quickly, they want to see everything. There's so many restaurants out there, so much inspiration, so much, you know, excitement within the industry that people want to move on pretty quickly. They want to see everything. So trying to keep people grounded and make them understand that, you know, to spend a little bit of time in one place is very important, you know, and it's key to their sort of discipline and structure and their development. Having that understanding that it's about all of those things is something that a lot of chefs, I think, from an early age don't really realise is going to be part of their future.